What if the person you overlooked, the one you barely noticed every day, held the power to save your entire life? Today, you'll hear the story of a black maid who was mocked, ignored, and treated as invisible, until one night, she stepped into the fire and changed everything for a powerful CEO. Would you have done what she did? Would you risk everything to save someone who never truly saw you? Before we dive in, hit that subscribe button to join Skin Deep Stories, where we bring you powerful tales that expose injustice, reveal courage, and remind us of the humanity we all share. Now, let's begin. Her name was Doris Azah. To most people in the towering glass headquarters of Holden Enterprises, she was just the maid. Every evening, Doris would arrive quietly in her uniform, polished shoes, crisp apron, and gloves that never seemed to hide the tiredness in her hands. She dusted the CEO's office, emptied trash bins, polished glass tables that held million-dollar contracts. Yet no one said her name. No one asked about her life. To them, she was background noise in a world of wealth and power. But Doris carried something deep inside, something no one could see. Ryan Holden. Billionaire CEO. A man who built empires with his iron will. His employees whispered about his brilliance and his coldness. He was untouchable. And to him, Doris was invisible. He never looked up when she cleaned. Never said thank you when she polished the same desk he slammed his hands on during late-night calls. She was just there. But fate has a way of testing the very walls we build. It was a Tuesday night. The building was nearly empty, only a skeleton staff remained. Doris was mopping the marble floors when she smelled it, smoke. At first, she thought it was her imagination. But then the fire alarm wailed. Red lights flashed. People scrambled. Elevators jammed. She heard shouts, "Get out! Evacuate!" But then, a different sound. A voice. A man coughing. Doris froze. It was coming from the top floor. The CEO's office. Everyone else had escaped, but Ryan Holden was still trapped inside. Her mop clattered to the ground. She didn't think. She just ran, up 20 flights of stairs, toward the flames. The hallway was thick with smoke. Fire licked the walls. Doris covered her nose with her apron and pushed forward. She found him, Ryan, collapsed against his desk, unconscious. Papers burned around him. The heat was unbearable. For the first time, she saw him not as the billionaire CEO, not as the cold untouchable figure, just a man, vulnerable, dying. "Sir. Sir, wake up," she shouted, shaking him. No answer. Without hesitation, Doris pulled his arm over her shoulder. He was heavy, his suit soaked in sweat. Step by step, she dragged him toward the exit, coughing, stumbling, refusing to let go. The fire roared louder. The ceiling cracked. And still, Doris did not stop. By the time firefighters arrived, they saw a sight they would never forget. A maid, in a smoke-stained apron, staggering out of the flames, dragging the unconscious CEO in her arms. She collapsed on the pavement, gasping, covered in soot, her hands blistered from heat. But she never let go of him until paramedics pulled him away. In that moment, she wasn't the maid. She was the savior. Ryan Holden woke up in the hospital 2 days later. His first sight wasn't the skyline of his empire or the faces of his board members. It was Doris. Sitting quietly at his bedside. Hands bandaged. Clothes worn. Eyes tired. For the first time in his life, he really saw her. And he wept. "Why," he whispered, voice breaking. "Why would you risk your life, for me?" Doris looked down. "Because your life is worth saving. Just like mine. Just like anyone's." Ryan's life was never the same after that night. He made Doris his personal assistant. Paid for her mother's medical bills. And eventually, began to learn her story. Her struggles. Her dreams. And through Doris, the man who once measured worth in dollars began to measure it in dignity. Months later, during a press conference, Ryan revealed something that left the entire city in shock. He stood on stage and said, "This company, this empire, will no longer carry my name alone. From today, it will be known as a Holden Foundation. Because the woman you call just the maid saved more than my life. She saved my soul." But as the applause thundered, Doris stood in the crowd with tears in her eyes. Because she carried a secret Ryan never knew. The fire that nearly killed him? It hadn't been an accident. Someone had started it, someone inside the company. And the person who said it was standing just a few feet away from Ryan as he spoke. What would you have done if you were Doris? Risk it all, or walk away? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to Skin Deep Stories for more powerful tales that move hearts, expose truth, and leave you questioning everything. Because sometimes, the person you overlook is the one who holds the ending you never expected.